Hi, this is Tony. I'm at Cover Magazine. I'm speaking to Peter Todd, the CEO of Constantia Insurance. Peter, thank you very much for your time. It's great to catch up with you.
Hi, Tony. Nice to see you.
Yes. Peter, first of all, to start off with, congratulations on your financials. I know you came into Constantia at a very difficult time, a very uncertain time, etc. But it seems like you took the reins quite quickly and got things going. So how do you feel? Do you feel that you're back on track with Constantia?
Definitely, Tony. It's been quite a journey during a very strange time for all of us. But I'm delighted where we are as a business at the moment. So I couldn't have asked for more from the team.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it seems like it's come through this pretty quickly, and the financial shows that you got what you wanted. But maybe just to get to the practicalities of business, one of your strategies is a focus on specialty risk, which is quite something at the moment. Risk have become so sophisticated. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, the success of our business has always been through partnerships, working with brokers and UMAs, and that means we are really in the advice space. And if we look at what's happened in the last 18 months and that need for advice and the need for specialist, product solutions, it's been highlighted by things like COVID. It's been highlighted by the riots in Sazria, and people now hopefully a bit more discerning about their insurance and how they go about buying their insurance products and making sure they got that coverage. So, whether it's advice and the technical stuff in a, more vanilla type product, or whether it's highly technical stuff in medical malpractice or aviation, we like to play in a space where, we can attract people with the skills and the expertise to provide solutions in that space, and then work through, brokers who are advising clients. And hopefully we provide the product that, enables that advice at a client level.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about medical malpractice, and it's a fascinating environment, and one that has got such a huge impact on the medical industry as well as the public who uses that industry. And I know I got to know your medical malpractice product quite a while ago, and it's actually an incredibly well put together malpractice insurance package. Are you still going to focus on that? Is it still going to be one of your big lines?
Yeah, definitely. Tony, we always sort of, as an industry, right, we've never really, I don't think, promoted the value of insurance and the role that insurance plays in our society. And our medical malpractice story is a great example of that. So we came into that segment of the market end of 2016, and it was in response to a need there where obstetricians and gynecologists in particular, their premiums had gone through the roof, and so many of them were actually closing their practices as a result of that. And we came in and provided a solution. We now have more than 60% of the obs and gynae market in this country. So if we hadn't stepped in, one kind of wonders what would have happened, and what is the knock-on effect if you have highly specialized people going, closing their practices and moving on. So it's definitely a focus of ours. We don't just do obs and gynae, but we are focusing more in terms of other specialties within the medical sphere. But I think it's a great success story, and it talks about the value of insurance to the broader society. So we definitely want to continue on that journey.
And with specialist insurance in general, are you looking at expanding that impact that you make there in terms of getting other different risks in as specialities as well?
Absolutely. We do medical malpractice, we do aviation, probably two of the more difficult segments to operate in. And we do a host of other kind of specialties around that as well. But there is a big gap, I think, still in our business for other specialist lines. So we're very much in the market for that, looking at those opportunities and how we can bring the right expertise and skills on board in our business.
Mm. Peter, to get back to where we started with this conversation of you coming into Constantia, it was obviously at a challenging time because it was lockdown. I think lockdown was probably, was it just after you started, or was it before you started?
It was about 6 weeks after I started, Tony. Yeah.
I think I remember that. Yeah. And so you hardly had time to get to know your team, and then you had to see them head and shoulders. How did that impact you, and how did you manage to actually bond with the team through that?
It's been difficult, Tony. I'll never forget. I mean, we were embarking on a Section 189 process, and we were ready to issue the letters. And on the Monday and on the Sunday night, I think we had our first address from Cyril, and we then actually put things on hold for a week because we weren't sure kind of what was going to happen. And obviously, our process was not anything to do with COVID. It was just, it was what needed to happen in the business. When we realized that, we didn't know how long we were going to be stuck in this lockdown, we realized, well, we're just going to have to forge ahead, which was really hard. At a personal level, it was really difficult to come to terms with that. But, one had to accept that it's what the business needed, because the consequences, if we didn't do that, would have been, dire on the rest of the people. So, we had to right size the business. The business got bloated. So doing that, where communication over Teams and the like, it's far from ideal. But we came through that, and we ran that whole horrible process. We ran very successfully, and from then we had to try and embark on now building the new teams and the new structures. So for everybody, I think in the executive, it was a challenge because, as a result of that restructure, everybody was faced with this need to kind of rebuild their teams. And it was, unquestionably a challenge. And, we had to sort of make do with whatever we could, in terms of finding opportunities where we, could engage. There were sort of, I guess, periods where out of lockdown, there was opportunity to have a bit of FaceTime. But on the whole, it was done online. And, now we are hopefully moving into a phase where we can start building real relationships again. But probably, a big part of this organization, I've had very little opportunity to kind of engage, with people face to face. So, yeah, you have to think out of the box a little bit.
Yeah. And you're obviously looking forward to engaging face to face with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Peter, going forward, just anecdotally, how do you see this for Constantia? What is the requests being, or the as they say, there's no water cooler, but what is the talk about hybrid work and work from home? How do you see that?
Yeah, so for me, it's about flexible work. So, we've learned a lot, I think, through this work from home. We know how to organize ourselves a lot better. And it's about now giving people that responsibility to figure that out for themselves. And the way I look at it is that, every day is a work day. Every day is an office day. That doesn't mean to say that you necessarily come into the office every day. But if you have that sort of mindset, it's actually about, how do I organize my day so that I can be the most productive and the most efficient in, my meetings or engagements? So, don't organize a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning in the office, because that means everybody's got to sit in traffic for hours to get to the office. So we may have to put in certain hard rules. I'd rather people dial into a meeting at 8 o'clock. And then if they do come into the office, they come in after the traffic is gone, because I save them time and frustration, and I gain that time on our side, so I create more productivity in the business. And it's giving people that opportunity to have that work-life balance. So I think it's about a culture, and it definitely comes with responsibility. I think that's the key thing, is people need to understand that it's with it is a massive responsibility, because you can abuse it, but then you'll destroy it for the rest. But I think if you try and think of, well, Monday is my office day and Thursday is my office day, the problem is everyone will be ships in the dark again. We'll be missing each other. And so I want people to be coming to the office sort of more randomly, but on the basis that, well, today I've got meetings externally, or I've got to review a whole lot of documents or write a bunch of reports. So it's actually easier if I sit at home, I don't have the disturbance, and I can churn that out and I'm more productive. But on the days where I don't need to be at home, or I'm not out at clients, whatever, come into the office, engage with the colleagues. And I think it also means, to me, it's also about creating the carrot element as well, so make the environment in the work office a bit different, make people want to come into the office. And again, I think about how many people during this time have got up from their desk at home and gone to a coffee shop and sat there and had a cup of coffee and worked there for a few hours. And I think a lot of people do that because they just feel there's a bit of social interaction, there's a bit of a buzz. And so how do we recreate that kind of environment in the office environment so that people think, well, that's a cool place to go and work, and then obviously have a bit of human contact.
Makes a lot of sense, Peter. It's a bit of a balancing act and a learning curve for everyone to understand how to add value in this new environment. So, yeah, well, good luck with that. I think
I think we're all going to learn, Tony. I think that's the point, right? Is we'll learn, we'll figure out what works, we'll figure out what doesn't work, and but I think if we're committed to make it work, I think that's the important thing. The water will find its level, and I think we'll all be better for it.
Absolutely. Peter, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting to you, catching up, and I look forward to having coffee face-to-face sometime.
Absolutely. In our office, when we have a nice coffee station here, Tony.
Exactly, yeah.